Mine was a big magnolia. My grandmother's a rose. My mother's a lily. And my sister's a bright purple violet. Violet had dipped hers in silver glitter, and the sunshine always caught it, sometimes blinding me for a moment. Then Gran, my mother, and I were on the beach. My mother, Lily, who had wanted to be a dancer, was entertaining us with some choreography from an old ballet class. Her bathing suit was red with white polka dots, and she danced along the sand, leaping and turning with amazing grace. Gran and I applauded and hooted loudly as she pirouetted across the hard-packed, nickel-colored sand of the beach. Gran and I were on a blanket, eating one of her famous baguette sandwiches, something with ham and butter and little Cornichon pickles. Gran was telling me how to pronounce jambon au beurre, the French name for a ham and butter sandwich. The sound of my alarm was now so intense I could not ignore it again. With a longing for that exact sandwich, I rubbed my eyes and stretched my stiff, sore body. The old radiator in the bedroom of the Manhattan apartment sounded like 20 hammers pounding away, struggling to keep up with the chill in the air. I sat up, turned off the blaring alarm, and looked at it. 5:30 a.m. Ugh. I put my bare feet on the parquet floor, and instantly I pulled them up like a crab. The floor was as cold as ice. A glance out the window confirmed what I suspected. It was snowing again. In April, the same month that it had been in my dream. In South Carolina, it was an entirely different climate. If I was on Sullivan's Island, I would have had a suntan. I groaned and searched my pale-skinned legs through the tangle of sheets from my socks, which I had kicked off in my sleep. I slowly padded my way to the bathroom, hoping not to slip or wake up my roommate, Jim. I caught one of the more pleasant scents in New York City, the smell of fresh coffee brewing. I silently thanked myself for remembering to program the coffee maker last night to wake up with me this morning. I jumped into the shower, craning my neck so I wouldn't get my hair wet. I couldn't go outside into the tundra with wet hair and risk getting sick, and I didn't have time to dry it. I couldn't be late for work. For the past 2 years, I had been working as a tournant, basically a floating or relief chef who helps out wherever needed, at Bar JP, one of New York City's most popular restaurants. I was currently the only female cook on the line, and that alone was a huge accomplishment. However, now there was an opportunity to move up to a sous chef position. I wanted that promotion because it would help me achieve my next big goal, which was to work at the company's flagship restaurant, Jean Paul's. I'd never be considered for a position in that prestigious kitchen unless I rose through the ranks at Bar JP, and not until the head chef, Jamie, deemed me ready. Wishing I could linger under the warm spray of the shower, I turned off the water and toweled off my copper-red hair. It felt good to let the cool air hit my warm skin, but I could feel how puffy my sea glass green eyes were, and no doubt they were ringed with dark purple. My eyes are the same rare color as my grandmother's. Gran is the original Martha Stewart, and my personal champion. Looking into my own eyes, knowing they looked so much like Gran's, sometimes gave me strength to get through whatever I was struggling with. Gran never backed down from a challenge, so whenever anyone said I resembled her, it was a reminder to me to toughen up and put out the fire, so to speak. I felt too old for 29. This job was wearing me down. I sighed deeply. It was going to be another long day of unpredictable hours and having to prove myself against all odds. In my mind, I heard Chef Jamie say, "You're only as good as your last plate." I nodded at myself in the mirror. I was ready to prove myself again. I couldn't cave now, not when there was an opportunity to be promoted. Sometimes, all this seemed futile. Why did I want to work at a Michelin star-rated French restaurant in New York City where I made a laughable minimum wage of $12 an hour?